Yeah, we'll see how long this one lasts. But aside from that, that's sort of good news of things to come and things to not come, but things to be aware of. And one of these things was a movie that came out recently, and critics have panned it more than praised it. They have condemned this type of movie. Now, do I think female superhero movies work? Well, yes, I think in some ways, yes. I think in theory, yes, they can work. They really can. I mean, we have so many choices for movies. And I'll tell you, under the right circumstances, I really do I like girl power movies if done right. But there's so many issues. And when I was growing up, I can recall cartoons that I grew up with and the moralities they would teach you about good versus evil. And the men would take a back seat a bit. There was a male bad guy. There were female villains, but the hero was female. And she would teach you morality in so many ways that would stay with you throughout being 12, being a teenager, being a young adult, into your 30 somethings. And those cartoons are to be cherished. And I cherish those cartoons, even if I like the male hero more than the female hero. I'm a male, I'm a bit biased, but it will happen. And it happens it happens often. But I often think about, some of the movies I remember seeing. Now, I go back to other ones where the female was the villain, from one villain to another. And in this case, you have one that is trying to save her children that she never had. You look through like Alice look through the looking glass, you see a life that you could have had, and you try to take that away from someone else, right? But even in this context, I mean, you have two great, femme fatales here, and they work so well because both of them are strong and passionate in what they want to do. They don't see each other as the villains. They see each other as the villains, but it's the motivation, and it works so well. And I'm all for it. I'm here for that. And I loved this particular movie. And there are other movies that, what do girls like more than anything is the drama. You'll see the drama queens, you'll see the fashionistas, you'll see the peer pressure girls, you'll see the bullies, the starlets, and girls love the drama. Guys, we can't handle the drama so much, but there it is. It's there in full color, and it's just something that, like for me, I'm just like, I think in a lot of ways it works, and it works well. Other times, you'll have a movie that has a full cast of females, but it really doesn't work. It doesn't work. People are angry. Okay, they waited 30 years for a success to a classic. Okay, and that successor to the classic that came out 30 plus years ago wasn't the thing. So then you try again, and in the case of a movie like this, you have the female who is, she's not even she's barely in high school. She's not even in high school yet, you know? But being that she's the descendant of a great man who was a scientist, right? So here you would have a white male lead, but the granddaughter is such a great, protege, just the great inheritor of his mental strengths that she really comes out. I mean, it's there's all kinds of characters, but as far as this movie, I thought it was fantastic. Now you go to other ones, and this is not the greatest example, but you could have a movie like this under someone under a producer with higher morale, and not someone who's got shitty morale. And you could have something like this where the girl's a stripper, and she ends up becoming, with someone with a gun on her leg and attacking and shooting. And as far as these kinds of movies go, I enjoy these kinds of movies. It could have been done better without creepy hands all over it, but yeah, I mean, like the kind of gritty R-rated movies where you just go for guns and violence, like whether they're former strippers turned into like mecha assault warriors, or they're bounty hunters. Um, and I think back to some of the work I had worked on so long ago. Um, I think back to some of the writing I had done, and I look back at my work. This is some of the stuff I had done, you know, about bounty hunters and what bounty hunters represented. You know, this is an insignia that I made that represents the cat, the bird, the frog, and the dog, and the girl in the middle. And their job is to be bounty hunters. I wrote a whole story that was based upon a woman that tried to kill her husband, and the police set her up in a sting operation. And then there were female bounty hunters, and then there was, those bounty hunters you remember from Hawaii, and they had Christian values, but they lived in Hawaii and they captured bad guys. Well, not capturing bad guys. They had a very Christian religious view, which means that they were so helpful. They gave good service. They were hot. They gave hospitality, but they had to take, if the person skipped on bail or they missed their court date, they had to bring them in. So that inspired me to write a story like this, and I'm very proud of that story because in that one, all the girls pretended to be somebody undercover to fool the audience into thinking that they were one thing or another. And I don't see stories like that, but I wrote it, and I was so happy I wrote it because it moved me in so many ways because those were characters that I had created for decades of my life, and they just felt great. Now, between you and me, I prefer this movie over the movie that's coming out this weekend. There's a preview night tomorrow, as of this recording. I like this movie. The difference is this star can make billions of dollars playing the doll that girls grew up with when they were kids. The other star cannot do that, but I mean, this movie really moved me. I liked it. I liked it. I thank the director for her hard work. The director got into fights with people about how they're supposed to like a movie. People don't have to like the movie. A lot of people were disappointed, but I was one of the few people that actually enjoyed the movie, and I really think it worked. Um, Sometimes you have a solo movie. Um, I guess if you had the stars of these two work together, that would have been like a Thelma and Louise. Oh, I used the proper noun. Forgive me. But you could have something like a team up, and or you could go to a period piece. You even go back to a period piece, like you go back into the ancient times, okay, and you see a non-fictional kind of setup, and I think that works as well. Um, when I, well, as I try to look for things and other things, um, I did do commentary. I did commentary so long ago, um, and I was very happy for doing that. And if I could find it for one moment, I know this has been going on for a while here, but I want to kind of make my point because if I could find it, and this is um, this is a movie that I really enjoyed. It was really good. I probably the only person that ever provided a commentary track for this movie. I'm probably the only person that provided commentary for this movie. So if you ever watch that movie, you can play my commentary track to that, and it'll be fun. Um, why will the current movie that I showed you fail, and other movies like this succeed? I never like when the woman says, "I don't need no man. I don't need a man to do a woman's work. Uh, this suit will work when it's built for a woman." It's this denial that men have to exist. We all coexist with each other on this earth. It's just the way it is. It's the only way the population grows. However, whatever gender, whatever orientation you pick, that's just how the world spins around the sun. That's how it is. I mean, we're gonna build colonies in space. We're gonna go on other planets. We go somewhere, you know. There's a lot of sex to go around. And I like strong female characters, but I also want I like those positive roles where they take themselves seriously, they take the material seriously. I mean, one that was uh, I think it was one of the comic book ones that came out, and it was very good. And I like those kinds where it's like La Femme Fatale, she's running and gunning. I even have another one. I have it somewhere. And the actress, it was a who was a Hawaiian model. She had a television show for 4 seasons, and then when the pandemic was about to end and theaters opened again, her movie where it didn't make a lot of money, but that was the first movie that I went to go see in a theater when the lockdowns were lifted. And people still had to wear masks and stuff, safe distancing. But that was one of the first movies that I enjoyed, and I really enjoy her movie. I think with any movie there has to be a respect. Usually, women are good at doing dramas. They're good at doing love stories. I even think of one woman a woman directed a movie that starred a man, and there was violence and gore. It takes a special woman to really withstand the gore and the violence in a movie like that. There are all kinds of females that, when they're empowered, whether they're the director or the star, they can really make something happen. But I think that in order for a female superhero movie to work, it cannot be condescending. It cannot talk down to people. It cannot be over the top, and it must be on a serious course. If it's a comedy, it's a comedy. If it's like drama or dark comedy, then it is what it is. Um, but not at the cost of insulting either the male or insulting the legacy of what a male has left behind. It's important to continue that legacy in respect, but also letting the woman do what she can do. Like, you can do anything you want to do, but don't smack a guy around unless his name is hypothetically if his name is Harvey and his ends in Weinstein. Just innocent until proven guilty. Everybody works together. There are female leads, and it's true the female leads don't do as well as the male leads in some cases. But given the right amount of material, the right direction, you could have anything. And I was thinking of this one Amaya Miller photo that I saw, that she would look like a cool action figure, like warrior princess. And I love that photo. I love that photo a lot of Amaya that she took recently, and I'll talk about that this Sunday. So watch the movie if you want to, but a lot of people have said that it's not very good. And this is one of my favorite period pieces. Gotta love this one. Look, it won Golden Globes